Welcome to TikTok Live. Have fun interacting with the host and other viewers in real time. Where's my fucking whistle? And remember to create a safe viewing guideline experience. Green Guy 72, you're number one. Graham Class, the real Ori. What's up, man? I haven't seen you in a while. Turd Ferguson, I love it. I haven't seen you either, Turd, in a few. Conroy, Steph, non-crazy crazy cat lady. Looks like you're on your regular account. JM Boystred, Gary McMenamin, Danger Dan, Creed Biking. What's up, Creed Biking? Don't know what that means. That's a different one. I hadn't seen that before. TikTok user, a lot of numbers. 5304LA. E password 11. Cordy Budgeon. The McCraney. Mindless 404. This weirdo frog. I love it. Sloppy Monkey. TikTok, a lot of numbers. It's Muscles. Thanks for the follow, Creed Biking. CGLN 84. I don't know 2470. CCC Meow. Hey, Ray Washer, what's up? Jalen, somebody. Omarosa, no way. I love Omarosa. She's too funny. J-Test, Jenny B, Jim Shetter. Good morning, the Matt Hatter. What's up, my friend? Big toot for the Matt Hatter in Buffalo, New York. Cristo Vila, thanks for the follow, my friend. Ziana, Letitia Moon. I'm missing people. Boy, you're climbing on so fast that I can't keep track. Fedra, Scarlet Nettie Simp, D. DeVille, IB Chuck. Use a lot of numbers. Find a username, you guys. Kyria RYC, Kaya YRC. Ooh, Jordan, Eduardo Panto, Melanie Levy, Troy Ashley. Good morning, Fedra. That's what she said. Heather Mack, how are you, my girl? Mickey 7500. Big Man 703. Big Man, he's the big man on campus. Ovo Aaron, North Cinema. Thanks for the likes. Joy. At least I can comment on lives. I can't do anything else though. But hey, and toot toot. Does that mean you can't moderate? Can you kick off the trolls? Good morning, Heather. Ray Hots. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the likes. Tap that screen, people. Tap that screen. Keep on it tapping. Tap it really, really fast and really down low, like 80 times. Mrs. Fantastic. Yo, what's up, big man? Thanks for being here. Welcome aboard, everybody. Get on the train, move to the back, let the other people get on, and try not to get them with an elbow or don't do any groping. Isn't that sick? You ever been groped on a subway, man? Nobody wants that. The holidays are upon us, so a lot of stress. Yeah, you're already looking at the holidays, right? It's September, and I was in a store the other day, and it was in August, and they had their Halloween shit. I thought that upsets me. I used to get it used to be like the beginning of October back when I was a kid. It's like, yeah, they get the Halloween stuff out a little bit early, but it's like, but now it's like as soon as like the sun starts getting lower in the sky in August, these fucking people put the Halloween shit out. And it's just depressing, man. But I'm with you. The holidays are stressful for me too. People expect shit. I'm not up for it. I just want to have a good time, party, eat some good food. And yeah, so I'm not sure I'd consider it like that. I guess like if you're counting Labor Day, you know, but September is here. There's only a couple days of summer left, and I love it. The Insult Investor. Yo, what's up? Sorry, Insult Investor. I missed you if you're gone already, man. I am on YouTube, and I try to remember to look over at the comments from time to time so I don't miss everybody. And if I miss your name and don't give you a toot out, please don't feel slighted. It's just because it's too hard for me to keep up. Flying solo today. Producer Jay, busy as he is a lot of these times, doing his filming and stuff. So he can't be here today, so I'm trying to run it all myself. And I love the Insult Investor. That's a cool name. Who remembers Don Rickles, man? The Insult comic went away, I think, largely with the PC era. Like a lot of good comedy, politically correctness killed comedy in a big way. JDS 19, Donkey Punch. What's up, man? Copperhead 1970, George O'Hara, B Dude, Powys Plugs, Tyler 99, use a lot of numbers. Kendall Krishna, use a lot of numbers. The Pizza Man. I do. Miss Child. Bionic Gel. Polly V. Aries. Nee Vanville. Larry Villa. Hi, Patricia. How are you? Oh, we have 3 holidays in December. With one of them is a week long. All right, what do you come from Jewish tradition? It is that it's that time of year. It was Yom Kippur, and some neighbors where I was working they were like outside gardening, and they had like a televised rabbi doing his doing some boogity boo on chanting from the Torah, I'm sure, or whatever it is they do on Yom Kippur. And I thought to myself, this is at least calm and meditative, and maybe it provokes some thought, in some people. So please pray for my neighbor Jack. Full name for prayers is Jack Meoft, going through hard times. Well, our thoughts are with your neighbor. It's too bad, but personally, prayer doesn't do anything. If God has a plan for Jack to go through bad times, why would He change it for our prayers? Not trying to be cynical, but really, this is not the place to ask for prayers, I'm afraid, my friend. And that reminds me of the rules. You got to follow the rules on the train. I'm doing well, Patricia. Thanks, babe. You fell for it. What did I fall for? uh, um, there's no preaching on the train. If you get this whistle, you will get kicked off. What's good, Andrew? What did I say? Oh, did I miss the name? Was it a funny like Mike Hunt? Like pray for Mike Hunt? I didn't see it. Let me see. Where is it? It was the prayer warrior. So I feel like he really wanted prayers. Pizza, where? Good comedy has been dead for so long. It's so true, Bill. That is so true. Oh, Jack Me Oft. It's got a T on the end of it. That's why. If it didn't have the T on the end of it, I probably would have noticed right away. But it really looks. It doesn't even make sense. Bad through, man. Bad joke. But you guys are right. You got me. My friend Jack Me Oft. Doesn't make sense. Get rid of the T, buddy. Like come here and do like crank call style stuff, Bart Simpson style comedy. You got to at least spell it right. God is the cancer, caused more harm than good. Yeah. Yeah, definitely a 4-year-old bit, but I'm reading fast here. You guys can't expect me to catch that kind of shit. I was like, wow, what did I do? Did I get a troll who was trying to like get me kicked off? I'm like, woo. He was like, you fell for him. Phone call for Amanda. Is there Amanda Kiss and Hug here? I'm looking for Amanda Kiss and Hug. That's how you trick people. What is your deal, prayer warrior? Is that um are you into praying for real? You got a handle that makes you sound like you may be a Christian here on an atheist live. So you're welcome to stay, but and I appreciate, I get it. I can take a joke if you got me. That's funny, but yeah, just lay off the preaching, man. Nobody wants that shit. Parody account? All right, that's cool. Well, you got me there, man. Thank you so much. I am on YouTube. I reminded myself to look over here. Join us on YouTube. It's on the bio. You can click it down and follow us on YouTube. Followers have gone up a little bit recently. But you're right. If I can't keep track of the comments on YouTube, nobody's gonna to follow pretty much. SpedX Central. He got it. Goodbye. What did he? Oh, Jesus is king. King of what, man? King of dead zombies? What's he the king of? The king of holes in the ground? King of like having like nail holes in your hands and feet? What's he the king of, my friend? When you realize that without God, when will you realize that without God, you have nothing to talk about? Really, we could talk about you and how ridiculous you are. But thanks for that. Stupefied. Bye. Please, moderators, thank you very much. Morning from Chi-Town. Glad I found this stream. Wife and kids headed to church this morning. Nice, man. He's like, wife to go to church, and you're gonna watch an atheist live. Do they know you're an atheist? Or I'm sick today. Can't make it to church. I really miss it. Or do they know King of Lies? Yeah, I don't know. Jesus is, if he existed at all, he was probably a decent chap. I don't really lay a lot of this at Jesus's feet. He was just a Jew that they based a myth legend on, if he existed. Atheist Jesus is here. What's up, man? Didn't see you, my boy. If you don't follow Atheist Jesus, you're missing out, man. What a great creator and a great personality for the movement. Lynch Jared, thanks, man. Why do you block people that say Jesus is king? Because it's true and he loves you. Yeah, really, I want to block people who love me. That's really what I'm about here, Putz. Now all you can think about is pizza. I got some cold pizza. I didn't bring it out. It is the Atheist Brunch. Check me out what I got today. New York City on the train. What's up, New York City? I was reading this morning about the idiot-ass governor of South Dakota, governor of a state that has 1/10 as many people as New York City. I made myself, check this out. It's a breakfast slider, man. It's a little bit mashed because I put it in tinfoil to keep it warm, and it's still cold. But I make breakfast sandwiches, because I like the umami. I try to eat healthy, so I don't eat a lot of a lot of meat and greasy shit anymore, but sometimes you just need that, right, to feel full. So if I make a slider on a Hawaiian sweet roll, who doesn't love those Hawaiian rolls, man? If you don't like those, you're not, something's wrong with your face. But then they're like little, and you're only a little bit of sausage and a little bit of cheese, and I fold over a little bit of scrambled egg on there, and then one or two of them, and you feel like you did something, and you're not eating a McGriddle, which is like 5,000 fucking calories in. Bye, Navanik. We don't want to hear about Bible verses. We've all read the Bible. We know it's bunk, man. It doesn't mean anything to us. You're like, well, the Bible said there'd be people like you making fun of the Bible. Of course it did. You know, the people who wrote it knew that they're going to need to make an excuse for the people who weren't going to buy the bullshit they were selling. You almost had a breakfast sandwich today, Heather? Did you stand in line for 2 hours for it? I'm sorry to keep making fun of you for that. That's too funny. But yeah, aren't those? Thank you, Mystic Moon. Mystic Moon. Where's my whistle? Mystic Moon. Now you want a breakfast sandwich? They're easy to make, my friend. But other than that, I had a little bran, some bran cereal before, to try to be healthy. Your brother's obsessed with those Hawaiian rolls. You can't eat a lot of them. I mean, you're just gonna get as fat as a fucking house if you eat a lot of those Hawaiian rolls. But man, once in a while, just when they're always nice and soft out of the package, a little butter on there, and that's good eating, man. No, I was just trying to decide if I have one or not. Decided not to. Good for you. Eat healthy, man. I don't try to promote eating a lot of greasy sausage and stuff. But once in a while, I gotta have one. You know what I'm saying? Hello from Ireland. Cowbell XS. Love you, man. I love how they quote the Bible, not realizing it just begs the question. Yeah, it's just it makes my head spin. I'm like, why? It's the claim, right? It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything to anybody who's ever put any thought into it. It's just like, okay, what don't you get about we don't believe your myth book? And you're going to quote your myth book to me? Oh, the Bible teaches. Love that one too. The Bible doesn't teach shit. People read out of it and teach other people, falsehoods. You got a Hamilton Beach breakfast sandwich maker, great investment. Yeah, love that, man. It's like the George Foreman grill, right? The lean, mean grilling machine, panino press type of thing, man. That's a great appliance to have around. Jesus is queen, Geronimo 420. There you go. Jesus is queen. Watch my video about why he's gay. Poopers 55. See you later, man. I'm going out to the bar. Need my fix of Pisco Sour. What's Pisco? I'm not a drinker, man. You might have to help me with that. Save us, Jeebus. Yes. Book of Fairy Tales, that Bible. You're not even original ones, right? They're pretty bad. Anyone from Southeast Texas? Cafe says Jesus was a mystic. I've heard that, and maybe he is. I am on YouTube. Thank you. Thanks for joining, my friend. And we're paying attention to the TikTok because there's 94 people watching on TikTok and 1 on YouTube. So I'm not a railroad man. I'm just a railroad fan. Thank you very much for asking. Omega 88. You liking the hat? All right. The hat gets a lot of hate from the haters. Yeah. Hey, this guy's making fun of stuff and he's wearing a kid's railroad hat. It's our fucking brand, dude. Get with the program. If you're not on board the train, then don't talk about what you're not fucking understanding. It's a brand, dude. It's our brand. It's our fucking whole image. Good day to you all, P. Martin. Hello from Luxembourg. Who doesn't love the Low Countries, my friend? Luxembourg sounds fucking awesome. If I could pick one, that'd be right up there. My countries to probably fucking go ahead and live in if I can get the fuck out of here. Nanny pasta. It's you from the UK. You're in the UK. What you doing on vacation? God, I miss England. People that hate on train people are the worst. I think they just hate the hat. They don't like what my message, and so they want to make fun of. You were supposed to take this guy seriously, and he's wearing a train hat. I think I rock this hat. It looks, the more I wear it, the more I'm like, yeah, actually, I can wear it out and not feel really silly. It just kind of goes with the bald head, goes with the whole look. By truth, don't you love people who are religious who call it the truth? That's what kills me. It's like if you're gonna be religious, just admit. I'm making it my mission to discredit Christ's teachings. Seems important to you. Demons do that. Oh, demons. Ooh, hope I don't meet a demon. That'd be scary. Demons. Who the fuck believes in demons, man? Forget. Who's a demon? There's a demon there. What the fuck is wrong with people? It's 2021, man. There's no goddamn demons. What an embarrassment, you know? Oh, you live in the UK. I'm not sure. Maybe I knew that before. You spread my word. Sweet, man. Thank you. Love our fans from the UK. Long live the UK, my friend. I'm a real Anglophile. I do love it. Is that why that person voted for Trump? Because he's the Antichrist. Yeah, you know what? I said that right from the beginning. You know, the people who want to look at the Bible and believe that it's true seem to have forgotten that the Bible says, or it's written in the Bible, that the Antichrist will come disguised as a man of God. Who the fuck disguised themselves as a man of God more than Trump? And was in a position of power to be, you know, like an antichrist, like the Antichrist from the friggin' Bible. Yeah, no devil. I mean, we know who made up the devil. That's what kills me. Like, at least God, you can kind of argue about it because no one can point to the first person who made up the concept, but we know where the devil concept came from. Testicular spatula. That's awesome. Is that what Joe Dirt had to use on his dog when the dogs? Remember when the dog's nuts got stuck to the porch? I stopped watching shortly after that, but it was right in the beginning. We need a spatula to get him off of there. You got a god/demon inside, bro. I don't know what that means, Omega. You still talking about Trump? No, people bring it up. But that reminded me that, you know, I guess I sort of brought it up there. But you know, to me, it's like Christians who follow him are like not paying attention. Yes, Zoroastrians did. Thank you. Or Zoroaster himself, so Zarathustra, or you know, that guy, you know, had the great concept that everything had to have an opposite, which I guess in early philosophy kind of makes some kind of sense. You know, there's everything has an opposite. What's the opposite of God then? You know, I guess let's make it up. Without God, there would be no atheists praying for you. No, without religion, there would be no atheists. If people hadn't made up the worship of a deity for the rest of us for them to try to indoctrinate the rest of us to, we wouldn't need the term atheist. Everybody's born an atheist, right? There shouldn't even be a word for it. But is Trump finished? That'd be good news. Thank you, Dr. Van Nostran. What's up? I know there's lots of you on here, and I missed a lot of your names. Yeah, new devil in office. Yeah, you know, I can't really argue with that in a metaphorical sense. And I'm not interested in it. You know, we're here to ridicule religion, and unfortunately, you know, religion tied themselves to spit it out, boy. The Republican right tied themselves to evangelical Christianity in an inextricable way. So it's really the same thing now. When you make fun of religion in America, you're making fun of Republicans. And I miss the day when Republicans were reasonable people. Without God, there would be nothing. No, there wouldn't be nothing. There never was nothing. And yeah, if God is eternal in your view, then there was always God. So there was never nothing there either. So what the fuck are you talking about, man? And bye. Bugs Bunny 2024. Yeah, what's up, Jack? I would vote for Bugs Bunny in a fucking second. Have I been baptized? Yeah, I was baptized. Yeah, my parents baptized me. And I went to confirmation when I was 12, 13, had a great time, top of my class, loved it. You know, I was a smart kid, good student. So it was just another thing that I could excel at, was going to confirmation with my 6 or 8 buddies in my tiny town that were the same age. You know, and I lasted in Christianity maybe 3 or 4 years past that. I remember getting my my new international version, I want to say, or a Good News Bible maybe was one of the new versions, and that's what the pastor gave out to all the confirmants. Is that the word? And I wrote him a nice, you know, ooh, I've really always wanted one of these ever since I heard it. It was just bullshit. I'm like, you know, we wrote, you know, thank you notes, you know, for the Bible that I got. But yeah, I was baptized and confirmed. Thank you very much. Got some blockers going tonight. Aphrodin, I like dessert. I don't know what the hell that means, but see you later. Why don't you pick on Muslims, Hindus too? You need to watch my channel, apparently. I pick on Muslims um, all the time. You know, look at my fucking videos. I made one about Hindus. I don't know. I don't find much to pick on about Hindus. They generally don't shove religion down your throat or blow up buildings in the name of religion, or you know, declare fatwa against people who deny Vishnu. You know, and I'm not saying they're all great people. I'm sure they've got plenty of atrocities. I'm not really familiar with them. We're in America, in the U.S. of America, of Evangelica, fighting Christian nationalism. And unfortunately, Muslims are constantly on the world stage with their fucking atrocities. So, you know, they get a lot of fucking the kickback from me too. But to say that I don't pick on other religions is patently false. You just need to go down my fucking page, watch all my videos, like them, and share them, and you'll know that I make fun of everybody. Sooner or later, I get around to making fun of everybody. That's the way I am. Hello from Notre Dame, Indiana. Is that a town? I thought it was in South Bend. Um, is this a long story? Not as long as the Bible. Agreed. Christians act like they are the only ones attacked. Yeah, I got some of that coming out in a new video. I will be doing a video on the HR reviews. That was the one where I fired Islam was quite popular. Speaking of not making fun of Islam, I'm still taking grief for that one from the fucking the followers of the nonprofit. Yeah, hey, why? You don't say Christian atrocities caused Islam. Why, capitalism in America caused? Yeah, well, if there was no Islam, then those people couldn't base their fundamentalism on Islam. So I still, again, we're not political here. I'm not into poli-sci. I'm not a big fan of unchecked capitalism. I hate colonialism. I hate, missionary work. All of that shit needs to go away. But that's not what we do here. And I only have so many hours in the day to make fun of people. So if you want me to make fun of you, keep on coming on here with fucking comments like that. Organized religion is responsible for all the world's suffering. Yeah, that's the way to go. Every last fucking thing that ever happened that's made people suffer was religion. I am obsessed with religion. I'm sick of religious people in America trying to take over the government and trying to proselytize to my kids and trying to indoctrinate people to their unsustainable faith systems. I'm completely obsessed with ending religion and its toxic net negative effect on the world. So, I'm glad you think that's funny. Buddhism. Yeah, I make fun of Buddhism. Are you kidding me? Buddhist monks in temples around the world are abusing not all of them obviously, but there's child molestation that goes on, and I have talked to reporters who investigated this and have facts and documented stories and complaints and real people who came out and told their stories of how that kind of thing happens when little boys get sent to a Buddhist temple to get raised up since they're 2 years old in again an all male celibate atmosphere. That kind of shit's going to happen, and it just breeds it, and then it protects it, right? And those people are unassailable because of religious exceptionalism, or people given religion a break. Well, at least he's getting an education, and it's better than being like destitute on the mountainside with no friggin' rice to eat. So yeah, Buddhism doesn't escape my glare. Please. You think the government is anti-religion? You didn't have to yell that in all caps. The government is in America is not anti-religion. Why do you think we have "In God We Trust" on the money? Why do you think they open Congress with a prayer when this is supposedly a secular country? The religion has no business being anywhere near government. The U.S. government puppet masters are devil worshippers. There was no devil, but thanks for the thought. Aesthetics by Danny. When I saw that hat, I knew this guy means business. There you go. Now, damn it. Nothing says I mean business like a toy train hat. I'm missing a lot of comments here, and because if I pause on one, then they start piling up, and it stays paused. It doesn't go back down. I don't know how intelligent people believe in religion. They don't. If I find out you're religious, I immediately, my opinion of your intellect goes down, and if maybe that's wrong, I can't help it. Freedom of religion is in the First Amendment. Yeah, of course, freedom of religion is, and that means freedom from religion too, right? Scrufflord, I'm not sure which side you're on that. Thank you for blocking these idiots. Bye, William Wagon. Thanks for joining. I didn't see what they said. What's the hat? This guy takes it in the caboose. Oh, boy, that's an insult, man. Man, what if I am? What if I'm a power bottom? And I really dig that. You know what I mean? Is that you're just a bigot, man? I don't have any bad feelings towards people who like to take it in the caboose. Speaking of cabooses, I saw a caboose yesterday. No trains have cabooses anymore. It's a real shame, right? Cabooses were so cool, and they're basically gone. They don't need them on the trains anymore, so they don't have them. But they're not gone. Once in a while, you see a train, and this was the wildest train I ever saw. It had, how they have the trucks that work on the tracks, and then they'll have train wheels that they can apply to and go and drive on the tracks. And then if they need to go back on the road, they pop those wheels up and they drive on their rubber tires on the road. Well, this was a friggin' semi, like not a semi, but a flatbed along like a 40-foot flatbed truck with a semi-style cab that had its train wheels on it. And it was honking its semi horn. I'm like, that's not a train horn. What's coming down the tracks? And I look, and there's a truck on the tracks. And then it had like 4 cars behind it. And then it had a caboose. It was this cute little green caboose and a dude on it at the end hanging on, just like the day, man. I imagined it with a potbelly stove and some coffee on it in the back, man. It made me happy for the rest of the day. What's up, Sin Free Atheist? My man. We need to say God or the government's pretend They're the ones that made our. We need to say God or the governments pretend they're the ones that made our rights. Well, it wasn't God. Human rights are human rights. That's just empathy. We all want rights, and so we all feel like everybody else should have rights because we don't want people taking away our rights. God didn't give us shit because God doesn't exist. What is so wrong with believing in God or gods? No, nothing's wrong with believing in God or gods. What's wrong is enforcing it on the government, indoctrinating children, and bullying people with it, and making and trying to pretend that everybody has to believe in God because you do. That's nothing. If you want to believe in God, believe in God. More power to you, man. Go for it. Good morning, heathen, says Terrible Tigger. What's up, Terrible Tigger? I'm saying that's how it was referred to by government, God given rights. Yeah, but if um, the founders who wrote the founding documents were deists, right? They didn't believe in the Christian God. They were deists who believed that there was a creator to the universe and a prime mover somewhere because they didn't have access to Darwin's information, which would have come 80 years later. And especially today, if they understood what cosmologists understand, they would have never written it that way. That was just Enlightenment thinking. That was the way that they were, their philosophy revolved around, the fact that human beings are endowed with inalienable rights by their creator. Okay, I mean, if your creator is a singular entity, but your creator is simply the evolutionary process, doesn't really mean the same thing. It's just language, man. And I guarantee you that none of those people would have been. Listen to you bringing up Rush again, man. Take. I'm just teasing. I love it though. It always comes around to Rush, doesn't it? For the Mad Hatter. I don't know Prime Mover. Is that a good one? That's your favorite. It must be good. Brother Kareem. Atheism is a belief for people like this dude. No, atheism is not a belief. Atheism is a lack of belief. Get a dictionary. Holy shit, we have a lot of Christians in here this morning. Yeah, I feel like it's overkill and or like we're getting rebalanced from last live I did. There was almost none, like literally almost none. The one person I had to block was sort of a questionable whether we really needed to be blocked. Atheist in South Dakota. What's up? I was just looking at Kristi Noem, the idiot governor of South Dakota. How does someone like this get elected? Oh yeah, South Dakota, full of uneducated potato farming hicks, who believe the Bible is true and who think that this is a Christian nation. That's how an asshole like that gets elected. Guns, God, and Trump. And she doesn't even pretend that she's not that way. She wants this to be a theocracy. She pretends it already is. And thank you. Last week was a pretty good live. Boring, not worth talking to you. Already set in your ways, and yes, belief of unbelief. Yeah, all right, buddy. Hello from Kenosha, light of a salt lamp. But yeah, anyway, Kristi Noem, I got it right here. Kristi Noem, if you see him, won't make kids wear masks in schools, but trying to bring back prayer in schools, as if voluntary prayer. If you want to pray on your own, you always could. It was never illegal. The students just can't be led in prayer by the teachers because that's the government, right? In the public school, that is the representative of the government and authority figure to those kids promoting religion. Period. This chick is so stupid. It's hard to believe that she got this far in life. I don't even know what that's about. Cafe. So a man professing unconditional love and emphasizing that you should love your neighbor as yourself is a charlatan. Doubt it. J Mike says, is that atheist Jesus? J Mike, are you on? It looks like you on the on the YouTube, saying Jesus was a charlatan. I don't personally think that Jesus existed. If he did, it was in nothing to do with the biblical Jesus. It was probably just a dude, going around leading a cult. Patty Champagne, what's up? People they want us to believe that the people keep on yelling at me that yes, it's a belief, atheism is a belief. They want us to be on their level. It threatens them that people don't have the same, psychosis really that they do. Christians and religious people are really threatened by somebody who has such a different worldview and such a different paradigm. It casts doubt on their belief system. So they really want to bring us to our level. Atheism is a religion. Atheism is just another belief. Thanks for the rose, Chunky Mo. Appreciate you. And we see it all the time. You do these videos and you get comments, and you do these lives and you get comments. And the thing that bothers those people more than anything is that we're not like them. You know, that's why we're hated more than Muslims in America. If you can even believe that anybody is more hated than Muslims, um, or gays, it's atheists, period. And that's why, because at least Muslims believe in something. At least they believe in something. You have to believe in something. No, you don't. What? You don't got to believe in anything except for what you can see and what's real and what we know and what actually affects us, not fantasies in your brain. Read a different book. Yeah. Squeeze. What's up, Squeeze? Atheism is likely. Do you believe in Thor? Yeah. That's right. We believe in one less God than you, man. That's everybody. Everybody's an atheist when it comes to other religions, because I can without fear of being killed by the religious. Um, Not sure what the question was that was an answer to. Scroll back here a little bit. You become fertilizer for the next generation, and that's it. Yeah, we return to the stars, man. Your body doesn't really ever go away. It just becomes less orderly. We understand point one of the universe. What's that mean? Howdy, user. A lot of numbers. I'm taking credit for that name, man. Is that did you make that up because I said that? Scrolling back through the comments here. Cafe says, cafe, a lack of belief isn't atheism. It would be more accurately defined as as lack of theism. It's just silly how people try to say that. Even the Sikh hate their own apostates. Do they? Of all the religions out there, Sikhism is a pretty mellow one. People are like, you make fun of Sikhs too. Thanks for the likes, Heather. I like you too. GM, what's up? Good morning. I get it. Radical Times, one of my guys. What's up, bud? What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the Sikhs. We have a large Sikh community around here. There's a temple that got shot up because a redneck was too stupid to understand that those people aren't Muslims. You know, he saw a turban, some brown skin, started shooting. You know, and that's how ignorant most Americans are. They don't know the difference between a Sikh and a Muslim. You know, and my Sikh friends are all great, but one guy did take me to task. He's just like scolding me about how I couldn't believe in God. It was one of those like just defending the Creator and saying that there's evidence for it. You know, and that was again, it was like it's a little bit annoying, but you know, at least those people are not, and they're not trying to turn the government Sikh. You know, and I feel like Sikhism is more about simply enlightenment. You know, just trying to attain a state of mental peace and you know, a higher sense of self. You know, I don't really know how to describe it. It's just spiritual people like Buddhism. The philosophy makes so much more sense than the idiot Abrahamic faiths that, you know, I can't get too upset at those people. Once they start like committing, you know, abortion clinic bombings, once they start putting Sikh imagery on the roadside where people die, once they start, you know, trying to make our legislation based on the teachings of Guru Nanak, you know, when that shit starts happening, when the teachers in the school start trying to proselytize Sikhism to my kids, then maybe I'll attack the Sikhs. But until then, it's like you're like, why don't you pick on Hindus and Sikhs, and why don't you pick on the Pacific Islanders religion? Why don't you pick on you only pick on Christianity because Christianity fucking sucks the worst, man, especially here. What do you think? Jesus. Um, but yeah, but you're right. Sikhs do really hate apostates too, just like everybody. When you leave the religion, they really shakes their own faith. They're like, there's a guy I thought was smart, and if he doesn't think my God is real or that my religion is real, then you know there I am getting doubts in my own head, and I shouldn't have to deal with that. So let me go spank that guy for leaving the religion. How about Marxism in elementary schools? I think all philosophies should be taught to kids as early as possible. I think we'd become much smarter if political philosophy, you know, religious philosophy, and plain old existentialism, and you know, other you know, enlightenment philosophy. I think all philosophy and all religion should be taught in school as early as possible, and it'll make it harder for you know, narrow-minded, myopic parents to keep their own kids in their religion if those kids understand right away that everybody has their own idea and none of them are right. They're all just guesses, so none of them can be truth. And if it makes you happy inside, good for you. That's your right as a human being. But this indoctrination of children has got to stop. Yes, their doubts are basically because they're insecure about theirs. Exactly right. And if they surround themselves with people who drink the Kool-Aid and buy the message and get right on board with the bullshit, then they'd never have to deal with that doubt in their face. But atheists and apostates bring it full front for them, and they hate it. They really hate it. Confuse them young so they constantly ask questions. Love it. Um, I don't know. Is that sarcastic? Confuse them young? No, you educate them young so that they constantly ask questions. That's what life is about. Kids do it naturally, right? And we should encourage that, the asking, because that's what education is about. Learning how to learn, more than actually learning the specifics of the subject. Good education is about critical thinking, deductive reasoning, and learning to learn on your own for the rest of your life. Atheists seem very self-centered with no empathy or kindness, is what I'm getting from this live. No, that's me, right? Why would you generalize about atheists? I have no empathy, and what else did you say? And no kindness. What the fuck's wrong with you, man? Everybody knows that atheists are actually more empathetic and more kind, more moral, more loving, more accepting than anybody. I'm a sarcastic, you know, uh, a dick. I know it. I can own that. So if that's what you're taking away from this live, and you want to generalize that to all atheists, so that's your issue with your smallish brain. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Black Sheep. Atheists, in my experience too, are the most kind and empathetic. And I don't, I know that I'm a nice guy. Anybody who really knows me knows I'm a nice guy. I'm trusting. I love everybody when I meet them. But I'm into making fun of shit. I like comedy. I'm a wannabe comedian. So here I am doing it. And if you don't like it, then fucking move along. There's plenty of atheists. There's plenty of Christian lives, or people playing music, or people teaching you how to cook shit on it. If you don't like this, then get the hell out. We don't care. Um, what's the source of your morals? The human evolution, the highly evolved psychology that we have. We understand that we wouldn't want people to treat us that way, and so we don't treat other people that way. It's evolution and has ensured that we have morality. There's no morality from the God of the Christian Bible, that's for sure. There's no morality from God of the Jewish Bible, that's for sure. So the idea that morality comes from religion or comes from some higher power is absurd. Why did we used to torture people and we don't now? Why did we used to not let women vote and we do now? Why did we used to have slaves and we don't now? It's as humans evolve, we evolve a higher sense of empathy. The people who can't get their head around that make me think, yes, of course morals can change. We see them changing. Did you ever reach out to that church? What church? Are you used to love on are used to love you? Oh, you still love me on Mythbusters? I kind of look like the guy. I never really watched Mythbusters. I guess I kind of, with my glasses on, I think I know who you're talking about. Morality is subjective and only, of course, yes. Why do people talk in tongues? Because it evokes a response in their amygdala or somewhere in their brain. I don't know. I'm not a neuroscientist, but I've been in theater, right? And you can do exercises, and acting uh, is evocative on emotional level. Even if you're not a method actor, if you are acting to the point where you're in character and you start feeling what you are acting, and it becomes real for you, and then you act even better. So if you're looking for church to be a passionate, uh, emotionally exciting experience, then you can easily start talking in tongues, and you work yourself up into a state where it's like a high. It's not hard to understand if you've been through theater and acting lessons like I have. And if you look into the psychology of it and the neurology, I mean, they can stimulate with electrodes the parts of the brain that make you see and feel those things. We know that it's all in your head. And people who pray and people who meditate, it activates that part of their psyche, and it makes them feel better. It's a comfort thing. So people who talk in tongues and really think it's real, it's because they actually do. It starts evoking a response in their brain, and it makes them feel good. So plus a lot, you start out by showing off. Maybe some of them are just like, well, I can do that too. And you do it. like whatever it is, and then sooner or later you're like, it gets you off. And so some people, that's their drug, where they go to church and they talk in tongues. The rest of us stay at home and smoke a joint and watch some good TV, man. Thank you. Blackcraft, was that your question? Sorry. Love you, man. Thanks for being here. Salvia is a temporary. I've never tried salvia. Is it any good? I hear it's like good and bad. Like, doesn't it make you like really sick too? Like some of these hallucinogens you see the Indians do the native South Americans in the jungle, like blowing that green shit up their nose, and then they're like, and you can tell it like hurts their fucking head really bad for a while. There's like mucus coming out of their nose and stuff, and then they trip. So it's like you got to get past the ugly part first, man. Thank you, the smoothest. Appreciate you, man. Hi, Muni 30001. What's going on today? My landlord refuses to address their shit because of my religious beliefs. What's that mean? They won't change your light bulbs because what are your religious beliefs? XX lame name is YXX. What's up? Whoa, you're giving me the crying, laughing so hard you're crying emoji. No, sick, it's good, but after a few times it no longer works. Is that right? Oh, I see what you mean by temporary. Like you get used to it and it's not good. And I'm a landscaper, so we plant salvia in people's yards as a perennial. Is it that same salvia? It's obviously probably in the same genus, but I'm wondering if I can just go cut some salvia from some people's yards and smoke it up. Thanks for your content. Keep up the great work. Kind regards from the Netherlands, my Dutch friends. Who doesn't love the Netherlands, man? I'm gonna go see some windmills and tulips. Do all Christians have to make themselves the victim? It's based around victims, isn't it? Isn't the whole Christian ideology is based around the one big victim, right? God making a victim of himself, so that we could have a human sacrifice that was that was worthy, right? Losing your only son that really is yourself, that's something big to give up, man. If you're willing to do that, you really must love us a lot. It's obvious, infantile philosophy. It really is. Good morning, the crafty canine. This dog is so crafty, she can type. The crafty canine. I don't know if it's a female or a male dog, but I love that name. Joe Cocker and James Brown sang in tongue. How? I can't do it like I used to. Joe Cocker gets himself all screwed up there. Love me some Joe Cocker, man. R.I.P. Joe Cocker and James Brown. Too bad he beat his wife. But James Brown changed music. James Brown underrated. Got to be top 3 or 4 influencers ever in music. Period. More people getting blocked than I can shake a stick at today. Fancy little sure shot. Oh, Satan made us sin. We're evil and broken and we need to be fixed. Such bull. Yeah, Satan made us sin. Why can't God just shut him down, man? God should be like, bye, you did. But why can't God block Satan from God's life? Christianity is so weird to me. Like, it's a celebration of a human sacrifice. Yeah, the dogma of Christianity, and I say it all the time, I know, is bizarre, unsupportably stupid, and I don't know why people still get into it. It just, there's so many cooler religions if you're going to be into religion. Good morning, Keisha Hendricks from Texas. How bad is Texas, man? They're so fucked up, trying to roll back your right to have dirty gay sex, man. With these assholes in Texas, I don't know what state is going to get. We were talking about South Dakota before, which is bad, but Texas is just like really on a roll. They want to like lay down the worst state in the country. They want no one to ever be able to even touch them for the worst fucking shithole state. Mute Satan. Yes, that's what God should mute Satan and block him, and report him, mass report him. Not one white person created good music. Yeah, I feel like that's a really, really ridiculous statement. But thanks for your effort there. God of the Bible seems to be Satan adversary. You start with Buddy Holly, for one thing, and you can go from there. You need to listen to Beck, maybe. Yeah, I feel like that's just I know you're probably being sarcastic, but obviously, white people in the history of rock and roll stole black music. There's not much question about that. But that's different than no white person ever made good music. Man. Elton John, who's Elton John fan? Somebody else brought up something else. Yeah. Phil Collins. Yeah. What happened to Phil Collins? I agree. Talented guy. But he really went off the rails in the 80s with that Susu Studio shit, But Early Phil Collins, his contributions with Genesis was a great fucking band. There's Peter Gabriel right there. Give me a fucking break. There's a white guy who was outrageously talented and came up with original music that. Um, Rolling Stones, yeah, I love the Stones. The Stones are the prime example of people who stole black music. It doesn't mean that they're a bad band, but yeah, they're not a good example of white people coming up with original music. And they'll admit it. Like everything they are is Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf and Bob Johnson. Just it goes on and on. It's not my cup of tea, but U2, yeah, U2. I think I like U2. I like a lot of their music. I do think they're overrated, and I always have. But I was there in the beginning. I got U2's first album when they came out, and they toured in Providence in 1979 or 1980, right, when Boy came out, and we were like, this is nice. This is new wave, good, good stuff. And I think that they've a little bit lost there, got a little bit too big for their britches. Um, uh, Lord Vasquez, I like how you're not scared to spit facts. Thanks for saying I spit facts. I generally spit opinion, and I'm okay with that. But I call it like I see it. So I appreciate you, Lord Vasquez. Thank you for the roses. Elvis Presley stole black people music too. Well, yeah, and I don't think it was Elvis was a fan. Again, these guys. It's not like Elvis set out to do it. Those were producers and people who were taking advantage of a white guy who they knew could sell. You know what I mean? When Chuck Berry was like going to be like getting just blacklisted because he was a person of color making the music that these other guys were able to find more socially acceptable in the 50s, racist America. I'm not an Elvis hater, but yeah, I came up in that new wave era where we were like, we didn't want anything to do with Elvis. It was just like that old school rock that was just so straight ahead and really not terribly thoughtful. That was like the Antichrist to us when we were like listening to the Clash and Elvis Costello and the Jam and the Sex Pistols and people who were just like angry young men kind of reinventing music. Nobody wanted that shit. Yeah, beat it, Brian. The Beach Boys. Somebody brought up. Yeah, Brian. Brian Wilson. Thank you. He lives right down here in Geneva, Illinois. Still, Illinois. Surprisingly, one of the last ones alive, if you could even believe that. Shit, as crazy as a shithouse rat. That guy went out of his fucking mind. Lives with his psychiatrist. His psychiatrist feeds him drugs and runs his life. But Brian Wilson, genius arranger. STP was your jam back in the day. Steve Vai? Who's Steve Vai? The Only Lane. What's up, girl? I'm hungry as a Christian priest is for a little kid. Are you? You can have my breakfast sandwich. I'm not doing very good eating it. I made two, so I ate one. And the other ones are getting cold. You can eat it. Lou Reed, yeah. Who misses Lou Reed? Died too young. Lou Reed was fucking great, man. Big Lou Reed fan. God kicked man out of Eden because he was mad that we'd found out that he's evil. Yeah, there you go. That's a good take. Like, oh man, God, now we know what a shithole that guy is. Beach Boys stole Barry song. Which one? A lot of the Beach Boys music is. I'm not a huge fan of the genre because they were forced into recreating that sound, but you can't take away some of the originality that the Beach Boys had, especially in the beginning. Shout out to all of us who were abused and oppressed by a religion that's love. Yeah, love the shirt. One of my favorite movies. Well, thanks. I got the dude abides. I know somebody asked to say to show the shirt. It's the dude abides because we know that the Lord doesn't. And who's got better hair than old? Thank you. What's his name? I can't even think. Had to shave it. Imagine having to shave that head for when he was on Iron Man, when he played Obadiah on Iron Man. Oh my God! Here comes Joey Mack music with this. Did someone build your house? Argument. Diamond David Lee Roth. You big David Lee Roth fan? Yeah, Van Halen never did anything for me. I give props for, Eddie went faster than anybody, and he was the first one to go faster. I have better hair than him. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. In my ears. Bowie, yeah. I mean, give me a break. You know what I mean? If you can't get behind David Bowie, you just don't like music. There's a white guy who made original music. Period. Again, talk about influencers in the history of music. Yeah, Chili Peppers, Black Keys. Black Keys are great. What a great fucking band. Please, what is your opinion on taxing churches? You know, that's a mixed bag for me. I think that churches who make money and can be shown to be making a profit need to be taxed. And I think churches who promote a political candidate need to be taxed. That's the reason churches aren't taxed is because they're nonprofits. That's why they're not taxed, and no nonprofits are taxed. But all the other nonprofits have to follow the rules, right? Freedom from Religion Foundation fights this all the time. They tried to get their residents paid for because if you're a church and you have if you have a parsonage where the preacher lives, then that's all tax free, right? There's no anything, right? There's probably not any real estate tax on the house that the church owns. But other nonprofits don't have that, and so they sued for the right. And I think they lost that one. They still have to do that, but it's like what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So really, it's Jeff Bridges. Thank you. In my mind, I'm getting old. Appreciate it. Where's my mask? Yeah, there's nobody else in here except my loving girlfriend, and we swap spit anyway. So what's the difference? And my dog. But yeah, I wear a mask if it's necessary. I have a nice mask and I go around with it, and I have no problem with wearing masks. I don't want people gobbing on me anyway. What the hell's the big deal? People have been wearing masks in Asia just for pollution and for just to keep other people's snot off of them in their daily life. It's my right to not wear a mask. Yeah, you fucking spreadneck. Dude, I like Jake and Elwood Blues. Yeah, the Blues Brothers is a great movie. And Landis is a great director. He made a couple of really, really great movies. But the Blues Brothers, I saw it again. What a great movie. And it's full of awesome. I mean, and they give it up, right? They're right there talking about how it's black music. They just that's they know that that's what they do. The whole movie is a tribute to black music, from gospel to blues to soul to all of it. The church scene with John Belushi, doing handsprings down the aisle, and then leading the congregation in a hymn. What a great movie. Hey, there's two white boys out there, and one of them ordered 4 whole chickens, and the other one wants 1 piece of dried toast or whatever it is. Fucking great movie. Jack Skellington. Don't know what that is. Yes, the Spreadneck I can't take credit for. The Gay Atheist said that, and I had not heard that before, but that's fucking great. Briefcase of Blues was a terrific album. I don't know. Is that one of the Blues Brothers albums? I never bought their albums or anything like that. But those guys are dying. Mac Guitar Murphy died. Those guys are dying off now too, man. That's I miss Christopher Hitchens. Yeah, who doesn't, man? I should debate. Yeah, people tell me that. It's not my thing, and people, the Christians and the creationists who really like to debate, they're like ready, they have their shit and their stupid circular arguments right in a row, and it's just like, and it's never been my bit, but maybe at some point I will. We all want love and respect. Morality should literally just be the golden rule: do unto others. Yeah, it's hard to argue with that. Yeah, Blues Brothers. I don't know, Rubber Biscuit. I remember when that came out. I was a kid when that came out on the radio. And we couldn't wait for it to come on again. Listen to the Top 40 radio. I made a series you might enjoy, a series of small videos on how Freemasonry is using Christians. The Protector System, where's that at? I'll at least give it a mention. Protector System says he made a series you might enjoy, a series of small videos on how Freemasonry is using Christians. Are there any Freemasons left? I feel like that's every Mason's lodge I see is like a ramshackle, fallen down, rotted out piece of shit shack, because I just don't think that they're like every denomination they're fading away. I feel like it was something for my grandma. I do have merch. We're working on a new shop right now. You can get what I have out there at cafepress.com/atheist underground gear. But my girl Heather Mack is helping me work on one that's a little bit more user friendly and going to get more merch out there. We got a couple of t-shirts ready to go, and we just need to put it together and get them out there for people. But yeah, thank you. I need to see the Blue Brothers. You're 51 and you haven't seen the Blues Brothers, man? Slap your face. That's talk about complete heresy, man. You're missing out. You go rent it today, dude. Got my cheese whiz, boy. Everybody remember that scene? Got my cheese whiz. But what does that have to do with the movie? That's kind of shit in movies is brilliant. Nothing to do with the plot. Nothing to do with the dialogue at hand. Nothing to do with anything. Walks into the homeless hotel or the transient hotel where they're staying. And one of the people in the background on TV is like, "You got my cheese whiz, boy." And he just throws him a can of cheese whiz. And that's it. That's all. Talk about Islam. Why, man? Islam's so messed up, man. It's such a joke how Muslims will come after me, talking about how I don't have the right to talk about it because I don't know anything about Islam. First of all, we all know something about Islam, right? If you're living on the planet with a TV, you know something about Islam. And I apologize that what we see on TV isn't representative of all Muslims because I know Muslims. We have an Albanian community here in town that has a mosque. I meet Muslims all the time for work. I'm working with a couple of Pakistanis who are just great people, loving, beautiful people. Most of 90% of Muslims, I'm sure, are wonderful people just trying to get along, pay their bills, and raise their fucking kids in a country that hates them, right? Sadly, it's given rise to fundamentalism that's dangerous on a level that we don't see except in Christianity, right? And Christianity, at least, is centered in countries that have, gotten a little bit more of a handle on controlling the violence that might ensue from fundamentalism, and Islam hasn't, sadly. And so, Islam is just a more violent version of Christianity, but Christian fundamentalism is just as ugly as Islamic fundamentalism, the kind of things that make people go and murder abortion doctors, even though Jesus said turn the other cheek, and violence is antithetical to Christian dogma. The Christian fundamentalists are the American Taliban, but yeah, Islam is it's an embarrassment. It's the motherload of bad ideas, like Sam Harris said. So sorry if you're trying to get something great out of Islam and it really works for you. That's good for you. But yeah, I don't know. Again, if you go off too long on these things and somebody's like trying to catch you and then they get you bored. But you're an ex-Muslim and you're glad to see it from outside the box. Yeah, I bet. It's hard to be brought up inside a religion like that and be so steeped in it that you don't. It warps your brain. People are like they're afraid to get out, even if they're doubters, even if they really really don't believe it at all. If there's just such pressure, the indoctrination is so overwhelming that people can't break free of it, and it's sad. Muslim Brotherhood's whole plan is to infiltrate from the inside. I'm an ex-Christian. Yeah, good for you. I think we're all ex-Christians. Most of us are ex-Christians. Who are atheists in the U.S. Not all of us, obviously. There's many others, but that's what we're all steeped in growing up. And there's most of the Jews I know are atheistic anyway. You know what I mean? If they came from an Orthodox family and left, then they're in a similar situation. But that's why it seems like we pick on Christianity more, because we're in America, and that's the danger. We don't have Muslims trying to take over the government. We don't have Jewish people trying to teach Judaism in public schools. Carrie Fisher's saloon was called Curl Up and Die in the Blues Brothers movie. Yeah, Carrie Fisher. People forget she was in that movie, and that's Carrie Fisher, man. Died too young. Too bad. Real sad story in her life after making such a splash in the late 70s. Not seeing Blues Brothers movie is as bad as never seeing Ghostbusters. No, it's way worse. It's way worse. I give people a pass. Ghostbusters was fun. It was fun. I like Ghostbusters, but it's a trifle compared to the Blues Brothers. Muhammad and his flying horse. Yeah, the next limerick coming out will be on Muhammad and his flying horse. And I wanted to get it done before the show today, but I had no help. Jay didn't come along. And so I had nobody to push the button before it was time. All of a sudden it was time to go on. Mel Pegs TikTok. What's up, Mel? Glad I caught you there. I'm scrolling back here to see if I missed anything cool. How many new accounts have you had to start now, girl? Is that like 15 for you? Christians have been increasingly openly antagonistic to love thy neighbor reciprocal ethics. Yeah, Christians are hypocrites. That's why I call them hypocristians. They don't practice what they preach. Almost none of them. And the ones who do, again, don't come at me if you're one of the good ones. I know if you're Jimmy Carter, then thank you for being an actual nice guy when you're, the Bible tells you to be a nice guy. But Mom and Dad saw the flaws of church and let us think for ourselves. Good for you, the crafty canine. You got lucky. Did you hear the sneeze in the background? Thanks. Gesundheit, somebody said. Not somebody. The Danish dumpling said it. Where's my got a little postnasal drip here going. Try not to be too gross on the camera. But before I sneeze, oh well, dab there. Young Frankenstein. Yes, if you haven't seen Young Frankenstein, the early Mel Brooks movies, all of them. Blazing Saddles. Excuse me while I whip this out. Early Mel Brooks is some funny shit. He kind of went off the rails with Spaceballs and later stuff. Jimmy Carter, not a good guy. Okay, Rob, it's Rob Robson too. What's wrong with Jimmy Carter? I've heard very little hate against Jimmy Carter in my life, so I'd be interested to hear your take on that. Jimmy Carter is the greatest living American. Thank you for giving credit where due. Okay, yeah, the greatest living American, maybe. Um, Well, where all the white women swear at? Where all the white women swear at? The real shut up Karen? What's that mean? White women's wear? I don't know, down at fucking Target. What does that mean? Like clothes? I don't know what you're talking about. Uh, okay, got to get some work done, but definitely check out my little series. Where is it on YouTube? You got to tell us where it is. If I missed it, I'm sorry. Tell me it again. Is it on YouTube? Protector System, and is that the name? I'm happy to shout out for the people because it's likely to be other people, not me. I'm just really busy. If I remember, I'll check it out. But yeah, give me a. Oh, Blazing Saddles. Where are all the white women at? Yeah. See, that's the kind of shit you can't even get away with anymore because it's so comedy's gone so PC that it's like boring and stupid. But Mel Brooks is the guy who said it. The country's gotten stupidly PC and it's the death of comedy. This conversation is refreshing. Thank you, Welsh Bed. You're refreshing. Thank you for being here. On my TikTok is just on your TikTok Protector System. It's Protector __ system. If you're not watching his comments, check out his videos. I'll check them out. And if you want me to follow and you're a creator, then you just got to tell me. We're in that position where I just don't look at a lot of TikTok and I'm just not following random people. But I try to follow the good atheist content creators. And so, if you think you got content that's worth listening, you can ask me and I'll probably follow you. If you want. I love Monty Python. I came up through those years when Monty Python was at its peak. We couldn't wait to get home and watch the show on PBS. And the movies are brilliant. I'm actually I love Holy Grail, I love Life of Brian, but Meaning of Life, I think I'm a bigger fan than most people. And Meaning of Life is a great fucking movie. And it's my kind of humor. So yeah, Monty Python. And I get people don't get it, that British humor. It's just not for some people. I don't understand that. But yeah, brilliant shit. All those guys are fucking great. This is the longest you've watched a live. Thank you, Savvy 7486. That's a really, really nice compliment, man. Because I know most people, have an attention span of a flea these days. And that's why I try to keep my videos in that 60-second racket right there, because I don't feel like, if you go too much longer than that, even me, I feel like I'm old enough to have a little more patience for that kind of stuff. And then it's the modern generations that are so into the instant gratification and no attention span and get it done and move on. Even I am like, if I'm making a 3-minute video, I'm just going to bore people. So I really try to keep it to that 60-second mark and get concise and be done. So I forget what the point of that was, but appreciate you if you're actually watching for a long time. Even if God exists, he doesn't deserve worship. Nothing deserves worship. Yeah. Nothing deserves worship except you, this one in the background. I do. Nothing deserves worship except your girlfriend. All right, that's my advice to you, man, out there. Jimmy Carter is a big spender. Yeah, well, he's a Democrat. I mean, the tax and spend thing. That's just what the party does. And I'm not about it. I'm not a Democrat, really. That protection of the unions and that whole just create a committee to study something and spend money on. I'm not about that. I'm more of a libertarian. But that doesn't say anything. That doesn't have anything to say about his soul. And I say that in a metaphorical way. He doesn't have a soul. Like none of us have a soul. But Jimmy Carter, I think, was an actual good Christian in his life. He didn't try to hurt people. He tried to live by the teachings of Jesus as he understood them, and he's not a hypocrite. He tried to practice what he preached. I'm not sure what being a politician who was in the Democratic Party and ended up having to be a centrist and spend the kind of money that Democrats spend when they get in positions of power, because they need to work with all the other Democrats and the Republicans in Congress. What's that have to do with what kind of person he is? And yeah, he probably fucked up the Iran-Contra crisis, or the Iran hostage situation back in the day. He probably could have handled that better. Nobody's saying he's perfect. I think as a person, though, he's about as good of an example of an actual Christian as you can find. Did you see the episode of King of the Hill with Jimmy Carter? No, I don't think I did. I don't think I did. King of the Hill was a great show, though. We laugh about that show all the time. And we're not Boomhauer cameras. They can have Boomhauer. Love it. Me as well, but most of my content is original and organic, so sometimes they go the distance. Yeah, Lesson Essence says, yeah, I know, and I do. I have a few, and I'm probably coming out with one soon, and they tend to be the more serious ones. If I really think I need to lecture a little bit, and I can't get it done in 60 seconds, I do have a couple of them, but most of them I really just as a rule, I try to stick to 60 seconds because I feel like people don't want to invest any much more time in that. Spend the money on the people or spend the money on the rich. The GOP is not fiscally conservative. No, I mean, of course not. And they talk about wanting less government, but then they turn around and try to legislate, women's health care and what people can do with their bodies and who they can diddle at night when they go to bed. Give me a fucking break. Who they want less government, but they want the government to be able to tell you who you can fuck. It's unconscionable, embarrassing, and stupid. Nana in Virginia, what's up? Good morning. Everyone makes mistakes. That's what Christians can't get around their dense skull, especially Christians. They made the biggest mistake of all, believing in a religious doctrine that's unsustainable. Another Sunday service stream. Hey, are there a lot of Christian lives during Sunday school time, or do you feel like the Christians are all at church? Or are there a lot of lives going on during church time here? Yeah, they're going like on YouTube. I haven't looked over there in a minute. And thank you, non-crazy crazy cat lady, for kind of keeping up with it if you're helping out. God is eternal. God, could you be on the other side of the Big Bang or alien? Yeah, he could be. You don't know yet. I simply don't believe God exists. In the words of C.G. Jung, I know God exists. That's ignorant. Anybody who says they know God exists is that they don't have any real faith. Those are the people that are trying to prove it through science and philosophy. Just had a big old iced coffee and now I'm ready for a nap. Why? Did you get decaffeinated? Come on. There's entirely too many TikTok preachers on lives. Yeah, there really is. But are they on during church time, or are they actually in church? Or they blow off church because they figure they'll get a lot of viewers during church time for people who don't want to go to church because of COVID or because they're lazy, or whatever. I'm just wondering. I don't look. If I see a Christian live, believe me, I am moving the fuck along. Have you been on any TV, radio, podcasts that we can look up? Twice a week is not enough tooting for you, Squeeze. That was on Captain Dadpool's show with Natty Nat. What do they call it? Nerds and Heresy. I was on Baphometals and Mel's here, right? They have a podcast called the Burning Eden Podcast. I was invited to be on that one. I've been on TV, but only on the news for my atheism in the Milwaukee area. So I guess I've not been on any atheist TV shows or anything like that. But that's coming. Look for that soon, my friends. I have a podcast, and the new podcast is out. And it's highly produced, and so I only get one out every few months. Especially with COVID, it really put us. For a while, I was doing pretty good getting them out about once a month. But if you want to hear more of the content, you can go look. There's 27 episodes, working on the 28th now at atheistunderground.com, or just find it on iTunes. It's on iTunes and Spotify, and it's called Atheist Underground. I like the people who say I can't disprove God. Yeah, well, you wouldn't have to disprove God if somebody hadn't made it up, right? You can't disprove the Loch Ness Monster really either, right? It's always just hiding from us. Can't disprove Russell's teapot. I mean, this is the stupidest argument. I know it doesn't matter if God exists. Well, that's the thing. If God exists, he doesn't interact with us. So why bother even looking for him? It just clearly doesn't care about what happens here. So to spend time trying to figure it out and pander to him is just a waste of your fucking life. The word government comes from two Latin words: govern, meaning control, mint, meaning mind. Okay. I'm not sure that I'd agree with about them. You might be right, but the ment part is a common suffix in English, right? To describe, right, the establishment, right, the government. What other ments are there, babe? You know what I'm saying? If he exists, he's cruel as fuck. I don't even think he's cruel because he just doesn't give a shit. He lets the things that happen. I don't believe that God is actively doing harm to people. He's just not. There's not anybody. If we had a creator, they moved on. They're creating another planet somewhere else, hopefully with better people. But the idea that he's either good or actively cruel is attributing him or her with things that we have no reason to believe are actually true. And if we weren't all of us indoctrinated to the idea, to the concept that there might be a God, we wouldn't have to think about it at all, and we could get on with actual concerns like learning, education, science, medicine, technology. Somebody said we'd have been on the moon in the 1500s if it wasn't for religion. If we just actually concentrate on our brain power and not Gregorian chants and shit and burning people who challenge the church's authority. We have free will. Yeah, that's debatable. I don't think we really have free will. And if you wanted somebody who really will debate you on that, look for Milwaukee Atheists on YouTube. This kid Lawrence Ufa, really just a genius for a kid who's 22, 23, maybe a little older than that now. But he looks into he does an atheist Sunday school thing, or he did, where he breaks down the Bible in a really, really intelligent way, and talk to you about what that shit all really means. And he loves to debate that there's no free will. Everything that we do is a product of our environment and our upbringing, and so what we were going to decide is we don't really have any way that we can change what's going to be our decision. We have the illusion of free will. That's inarguable. Lesson Essence, join. Where is Ginger? She's under the desk. She gets really bummed if I'm not actively playing with her. She won't go and play with stuff on her own to entertain herself. She'll just wait for me to be done so we can go do something else. She's preternaturally attached to me. Some people are jealous of that. They have a real problem with that. They talk about how it's unhealthy, and that I made the dog that way. Some people come up with that. But I don't know. It's just the breed, this dog won't run away. But if I had a beagle, it'd be already off in the woods chasing a rabbit forever. This dog will chase stuff, but only a little bit. And then, she'll come looking for me. But that's just the Australian cattle dog. They're crazy loyal that way. And different breeds of dogs have their different traits. And mine being a half dingo, it's a little dingo dog. My dog is one of those where she's by my side, man. And if anyone coming near our stuff or anyone goes near my truck, those hackles go up, and she started barking. Now she's a watchdog to the point where it's obnoxious. She bark. She'll hear a sound outside. She'll be like, bitch, it's the wind. Take a chill pill. Yeah, in dog we trust. I have a cool caricature. Go pull my caricature out with you, Ben. It's in that thing out there that's like a magazine rack on the floor in the corner. There's a white thing that somebody drew a caricature of me. That's right. You don't get to listen and eavesdrop and not help out, man. Doesn't want to be seen on camera. Wants to sit in the background and make noises though at the comments, man. You gotta love that, right? I'll show you this thing when I got it. What's up, Kevin Rubix? Where you been, man? You been here long? I didn't see you, man. Yeah, there it is. You see that? It doesn't really look that much. I was there a quickie caricature thing at that I got done at the last Freedom from Religion convention. And so the dude he does caricatures, and you put some money in the jar, and you got my teeth are way crooked. The teeth he gave me are way too friggin' straight. I look like some kind of toothpaste commercial in this. But when I finally came out, he's they look for something else about you to draw with it. And he's yeah, I like this and that. I'm I got a dog, and he's came up with there is no God, but there is a dog, because the dog is way more important in my life than any made up character in the sky. That's for fucking sure. Aliens, thoughts on aliens? No one's asked me about aliens in a couple of weeks. That is Santa. Ryan Rocks. What's up, Ryan Rocks? You like aliens? Yeah, I'm a science fiction fan. There's certainly aliens somewhere. That's without question, there's aliens somewhere. The universe is too big. There's literally trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of stars and star systems. There's likely to be multiple planets that are in a position around a yellow sun like ours is that supported life. The likelihood that any of those civilizations could have evolved to the point where they could travel here is exceedingly unlikely. And this is on the second to last podcast. You don't have to take my word for it. You can take a scientist's word for it. And again, it's an educated opinion, But if we use Earth as a model, it took 4.8 billion years for us to evolve to this point where we haven't even evolved away from fucking stupid religion. And we've gotten, we've blown ourselves up on some rockets getting to the moon and space, and now looks like we're on the verge of getting to Mars. But you have to be able to get over the distances it would take, which means you have to be able to travel at the speed of light, which you can't do. And they're going to have to deal with the same laws of physics that we do because they're in the same universe as we are. So if there's intelligent life somewhere else in the universe, it's likely only evolved somewhere about to the point we've evolved at. So it's very unlikely that they've developed technology that it would take to put somebody to sleep on a spacecraft that could travel light years away to get to another planet. So that's my opinion on aliens. They're out there. They have not come to Earth. Would it be life as we recognize it? Maybe not. That's the other thing. Nana in Virginia asked in this last podcast, the astronomer that I talked to talks about that. It's like, she envisions as the universe continues to expand, it's going to rip itself apart. And everything that we understand about physics today is not going to apply again, just like it did at the Big Bang and the singularity before atoms even existed, because the universe was so dense that light couldn't escape and those particles couldn't form. At some point, the universe is going to pull itself apart because there's not enough gravity not enough mass in the universe to slow down the expansion. And if we see the expansion happening at an ever increasing rate, so stuff is moving away from us faster, which is counter to the laws of Newtonian physics, right? Can't explain without dark matter and dark energy how that's happening, but it is happening. And so eventually, if you expostulate into the future, the universe will pull itself apart to the point where the solar systems, the planets themselves will become apart at the seams, and none of the life that we understand right now will be able to exist. But that doesn't mean that it won't shift into a different phase where there's a different intelligence system that lives in a different way than we do. We don't have the science to tell us that now. Off topic, but what job should I get so I can drop out of college? Whatever suits you, man. Whatever's gonna make you happy. That's my advice. Did you watch the final episode of Rick and Morty? No. Is it like the final one ever? That they're getting to the end of the cartoons don't last forever unless it's The Simpsons. But no, we're still in the early seasons of Rick and Morty, and we're stuck on Casa de Papel, right? The Spanish show on Netflix that they call Money Heist, which is just fantastic. It's really, really compelling TV, and we're binging on that right now. So Rick and Morty's taking a back seat, but who doesn't love Rick and Morty? Please, no spoilers. We will get there. Oh, not just this season. Okay, yeah, no. We're still in the early seasons. Honestly, Sweet Summer Child. Do you also believe the world is only 6,000 years? Oh, sorry, we got Santana Outlaw. Is that somebody that you had to move along there, Joy? Life coach, yeah, be a life coach. Hello, Lady Luna. Point 2. Did you ever watch Solar Opposites? No. Is it good? Is that a show? I didn't even heard of it. Gotcha. It's good. Kind of on topic. Okay, cool. Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty. The gayest twink. Better to have cohort or bolus, maybe a quantum. Those are real worlds. Even Santa understands. Kafai and Boomer U on YouTube. Love you guys. Sorry I can't pay more attention to the YouTube. If producer Jay was here, he would be yelling at me that there's something up on YouTube. But thank you for following, and I'm sorry that I'm not paying attention to that conversation. But it's just so active here. It keeps me going and scrolling down. Thanks for the likes, guys. And thanks everybody for being on. I appreciate you. I know I didn't give all of you a toot. We do this every Sunday at church time, 10:30 in the Central Zone, 11:30 on the East Coast. I am in the Chicago area, Chicago-Milwaukee corridor here is where we are. So we're in the Central Time Zone, but I feel like everybody marks time by New York time. So it's 11:30. Which if you're on the East Coast, you're pretty much done with church. But 10:30 is right in the wheelhouse, right? That's right, church time, right here. I'm good, Lady Luna. How are you? Just read an article. A doctor is ignoring the Texas law. What about abortions? There's a doctor who's like, "Fuck it, I'm going to do what I got to do." Right? Well, hope he doesn't go to jail. But yeah, Kevin Anderson, man, what's up? The father of the actor, apparently, Kevin Anderson, if I remember correctly. That's got to make you an older gentleman, I'm guessing. Kevin Anderson's got to be closer to my age by now, I would think. Hence, every brick thrown down, those good to nothing ought to be burn, and those good for nothing, but to be burned. What? I'm sorry, I didn't understand that. So we don't get to see Christian commentators. No, the thing is that they gang up on you and they mass report you. So we after I got the live stream pulled several times, um, we we decided on a no tolerance policy. The moderators and I, specifically non-crazy crazy cat lady who's under her own assault. I can't make a comment without getting it, getting banned for a couple of days or getting it taken down, or and these are like benign comments that don't even really offend anybody, and comments I've seen. But somebody, you piss some people off, and then they just make it their mission because I guess they're so bored that instead of creating their own content, they just attack people. And so it happened here. We got like several lives taken down because I said something that offended some milquetoast snowflake piece of shit Christian, and got mass reported and taken down. So it's like, now if you're coming on here to preach, you're just gone. So and who cares? There's plenty of other people. At first I felt bad because I'm not that guy. I don't like to block anybody, and I only block the most obnoxious people from my page if I'm going down and commenters like make really stupid comments. I don't block. I don't just block those people. Like in some kind of knee jerk reaction. But if it gets really bad, then I do, just because I don't want to see it anymore. But that really happens very rarely. So on the lives, the counsel was that we shouldn't tolerate it because they try to catch you, and then they screenshot you or take a video of what you're saying and turn it in. I don't really know how it works. And then all of a sudden you're gone. And people are losing their accounts. Our guy Jeff, the atheist troll, has got like 10 accounts. Mel, our girl Mel is if she's still on here, she had to get like multiple accounts because she's always getting tore down for fucking with Christians who can't take criticism. And Muslims are the same way. The ones who are hardcore around here can't take criticism of their made up God and their made up prophet. It's like offends them so bad that they have to like try to like block your right to free speech. Please don't make fun of the prophet. Stay away from the prophet. Yeah, you don't care if I make fun of everybody else's God, right? But as soon as I make fun of yours, fucking goofy ass son of a bitch, then you're gonna fucking cry to the boss, cry to TikTok, you're bullying me, you made fun of Muhammad. Break. Literally, people make fun of me all the time, and I get it. Nobody deserves it more, so I own it. I'm a short, bald white man. Make fun of me, go for it. What can I say? I don't get why people take that shit so seriously. It's embarrassing. Yeah, the app kind of is broken, but I gotta give them props. Lately, they've been upholding my appeals, and they've been like actually looking and seeing that there wasn't anything wrong. And I don't know. I feel like maybe I'm off my shadow ban. I don't know. The video the other day blew up. The church sign video blew the hell up, and I got like 700 new followers all of a sudden from it, and that hasn't happened in weeks and weeks and weeks from anything. So I'll see how many this turned into, because we had a lot of viewers, over 100. I don't usually have that many at once. So this has been a pretty stout live so far, and we'll see afterwards how many new followers. So for a while when I went live, I would get 300-400 every time I went live. I get 300-500 new followers right afterwards, and then it went down to like 10, or whatever the actual video got me during the video or during the live. I feel like TT is fuking me over royally. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. The stuff that you get the banned for is stupid. I mean, I get it. If I say, and I'm the guy, if I say something offensive and it like came out of my mouth, and I'm like, then later I'm like, I probably shouldn't have said that. That was a little bit ugly. And then I own it. But the stuff that non-crazy crazy cat lady's been getting hammered for is just like nothing. They're non-comments. It just doesn't. I love Halloween. Who doesn't love Halloween? Oh yeah, evangelicals, idiots. Halloween's like the best holiday, and here we have these fucking Jesus freaks trying to ruin it, doing the best they can to ruin it. Like they ruined Harry Potter. Oh, wizards are real. Like it's what? If you don't get that Harry Potter is just another good versus evil story, you may as well make Harry Potter Jesus and make Voldemort the devil. But because it's wizards, it's satanic. Literally, evangelical Christian Americans are the stupidest people on the planet. Yeah, it's a pagan Irish tradition to protect people from spirits. It's not demonic. Yeah, and it's just fun, man. And plus, it's like gone is the day where people go around as something spooky, right? Or something demonic or something seemingly satanic or monsterish. It's like Halloween costumes have evolved, man, to become all these kind of clever shits. that don't have anything to do with the occult or the supernatural shit. They're just like clever puns on society or whatever. Um, and Pokemon Go is actually catching demons. Yeah, and people have a real like the way that the Pokemon are drawn, like somehow. There's that one lady who made a video about the movie Luca, because of the way the eyes are drawn or something, and said, "Look, those are demon eyes." Like she knows what demons supposedly look like. I don't know where that comes from, but I think people have an issue with the art style of the Pokemon, and somehow it evokes the thought of like if they were all teddy bears and cuddly. What if their Pokemon were just Jesus dolls? You know what I mean? Would they feel the same? It's just a, a subjective interpretation of the art in some way, and that's offensive on every human level to me. And again, these are literally the stupidest, unthinkingest people on the planet that we're trying to deal with here in the U.S. of Evangelica. Religion is a guide to morality and ethics. It tries to be, but it's really not. There's no morality or ethics in Western religion. But thanks for that. Because she likes crystals and tarot. Who? Samhain was a fun holiday. I don't know what that is. Sam Samhain. That's my girl. That's my. Are you even female? By the light of a salt lamp. I don't know why I make that assumption. You're from Kenosha, and I recognize you obviously. But what is Samhain? Does anybody know what that is? Samhain. I don't know what that is. Educate me. Halloween, same thing. I don't know. Christians think my artwork is demonic because it's scary. Yeah, I mean, Veggie Tales. Yeah, there's Veggie Tales ought to be outlawed. You kidding me? Zero. What's zero mean? Oh, Samhain is the original Halloween. I didn't know that. Oh, you're talking about the Irish, the Gaelic or the Celtic word for Halloween. Samhain. I wouldn't know how to say that. I wish I knew more about the languages from the British Isles. That's fascinating shit. If I could speak Welsh, I would do it. Dang, I live in Germany. When I see documentaries about U.S. Christians, God, it was always a cult. Yeah, it is. It's crazy. Just be happy you live in Germany, dude. Pokemon are monsters after all. Ooh. Yeah, from the old world. Yeah, that's the Irish word for All Hallows Eve. There you go. Thank you. I've never heard that. But as I say, I'm undereducated on the language of the British Isles, and I feel like I should know more about that. Thank you. Sowen. It's actually pronounced Sowen or Sowen. Thanks for that, Matt Hatter. My best F is dating a Christian, and his family kidnapped her because she likes crystals. They kidnapped her because she likes crystals? And for every Christian who thinks crystals are evil, there's like a New Ager who thinks crystals have godly power. Poor crystals. That's bad. I hope she's all right. They kidnap her. They really kidnap her. They call the police. And she's got demons in her. Apparently, this was last week. Yeah. Soane. That's what the Matt Hatter just told me, but I still don't know. You guys don't know your pronunciation keys because I don't know if that means sow or so, S-O-W. Those are homophones or homonyms, right? Two words that spelled exactly the same but mean different things. Is it sow or so? I literally don't believe in demons, and Christians think I do because I draw monsters. Yeah, didn't we all like to draw monsters? I drew monsters when I was younger. Pikachu is Satan, actually? Okay. I love his movie with Ryan Reynolds. But religion never harms anyone. Yeah, right? Zero good things about U.S. evangelicals. Well, there is one good thing. They're going down in numbers. Rhymes with how. Okay, thank you. Then they think I speak to demons because of your art. Yeah. Again, you're dealing with like infantile intellectual systems when people have thought processes like that, and that's the way that they deduce conclusions. Yeah, you're just those are you're dealing with subhuman intelligence when you're putting up with that shit. So sorry about that. Yeah, written English is weird. That's for sure. So kidnapping interventions are going to be things going on. Yeah, I mean, can we do something about that? Do we need to call the authorities? Kidnapping, I feel like is is illegal in most states. The amount of people killed in the name of God and or religion is staggering. Yes, it is, my friend. Brew more, man. Yes, brew more, man. You got to get that beer out there, so brew more, man. I got 3 exams this week. 2 of them are tomorrow. Wow, it's already, man. It's already midterm. Man, it goes fast. Thank you, Sandra LQ1, for the roses. I love roses, and I love you. My mom is Christian and thinks the same. Sorry, you got a dumb mom. Is there a good atheist podcast? I can only find religious ones. Yeah, you can listen to ours. It's on iTunes. I find the guys at Cognitive Dissonance is a good Christian podcast. And I don't know a lot of other ones. You know, Seth Andrews is mostly gone to YouTube, I think. But the Thinking Atheist he's a brilliant guy. If he's still doing his podcast, it's always quality. But I don't know. I'm the wrong guy to ask. I don't have time to listen to podcasts. Friendly Atheist podcast. Yeah, Hemmett's my guy, and I don't listen to his podcast either. But I know Hemmett. I love him. Partied with him. Call him up when I need to. He lives right down the road. It's not very far to Naperville, Illinois. Second biggest town in Illinois is Naperville, and it's just a suburb of Chicago. How weird is that, right? It's like Brooklyn being the second, like the 4th biggest city in the country, but it's just part of New York City, right? But taken alone, its population alone would be bigger than virtually all the cities in the country. That's how Naperville is. It's really just a suburb of Chicago, but it's gotten so big that it's bigger than Rockford. Have a great Sunday, everyone. I always feel enlightened when I join this group. Well, you are generous, my friend. I feel like we're just being silly and just being crazy and just making fun of religion. We like to ridicule the ridiculous, and like Hitchens said, talking about missing Hitchens, ridiculing religion is our right and our mission and our it's our calling. Questioning authority is the key to human freedom, and that's where we are, right? That's where we're at. So for people to talk about, you got to respect religion. No, you don't. You got to respect someone's right to have a religion, but the respect of religion itself is for idiots. That's what leads to people letting a religion get away with any fucking thing at all. Oh, it's just someone's religion. You got to let them do it. It doesn't matter if they're like disemboweling cats in the street for a fucking holy ceremony. It's just their religion. Let them do it. It leads to destruction and death and people going backwards. So ridiculing religion is what we do, and it's what we're here for, and it's our right and it's our duty. And if you don't like that, you can fucking move along and listen to one of these crying Christians on the TikTok side of Christian TikTok, where they're talking their stupid shit, reading the Bible, whatever it is, embarrassing humanity with their small-mindedness. Colonialism and religion were totally entangled. Of course they were. It's manifest destiny. It's our right. And it's a great circle. It's like it's our. The Bible tells us to go spread the word. So we go do it through war, and we use the Bible as justification for doing that, because we need to spread the word of Jesus throughout the universe. And then when it works, you know what I mean? When the European powers were able to successfully conquer all other countries that they did, then they were like, well, God must be on our side because we're winning all these wars, So it's like they use it at the front end and they use it at the back end. It's just a fucking embarrassment. Singh is right wing. Dude, think himself a lion. Any kids who watch National Geography can figure it. National Geographic? Who's Sue Singh? Did I miss something? Yeah, I don't know who Singh is or who you're talking about, but yeah, you're probably right. National Geographic, embarrassing how they pander to Christians. I used to love the National Geographic, the magazine, and like now I look on whenever I'm in the line at the grocery store or wherever you still see magazines. I feel like magazines have largely gone away, but whenever you see a National Geographic, it's like the truth behind the discovery of Christian documents and the Holy Land discovered. They're always pandering to Christians, and yeah, maybe it's. When you read it, it's non-sectarian. It's not really promoting Christianity, but they're pandering to the Christian audience. You know what I mean? What happened to hard fucking science and quitting, talking about, earliest version of the Bible. Let's discover it in National Geographic this month. Fuck you, National Geographic. Go back to showing me naked breasts from Africa. What the hell? Good morning, Anna Breaks for Fraggles. What's up? Where you been? Religion is literally a delusion. There's no code because psychology isn't allowed to evaluate it. Yeah, I mean, there you go. How is the atheist live in the U.S.? In Germany, nobody cares. Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, we're persecuted. We're the most hated minority in America, and people lose their jobs. You know, somebody's like, it seems like a white man's issue, right? The atheism, because all the four horsemen, and Dawkins has stuck his foot in his fucking big fucking pasty English white face 10 times now, and made an idiot out of himself. And Sam Harris, is not on board with um, uh, the whole leftist. Uh, like, he's okay with making fun of Islam, right? Is what I'm trying to say, right? He's not. He's a little bit more conservative in that way, where the bleeding heart liberals don't want you to like be Islamophobic at all. So it's like, if you can't like criticize Islam because that's being mean to, whatever. He's come out, right, and kind of like lost some people because he's a little bit critical of being overly politically correct like that. And he's not necessarily wrong. When you listen to him, he's got a pretty reasonable attitude about it. But I think that like the Four Horsemen, him and Hitchens and Dennett and Dawkins, really all of a sudden, the new atheism seemed like these privileged white men whining about their issues, and it's to me, it's like offensive to generalize to that point where, um, first of all, it's demonstrably wrong. All right. I got a video coming out about this, but a lot of the top atheist organizations are run by women. I know the top black atheists in the country. I know the top Latino atheists in the country. All these people, atheism, I'm sure, occurs across the other demographics at roughly the same rate. In all races and all classes of society, and whatever other demographic you want to break it down by, we all have about as much atheism going on as any other one, I'm sure. The fact that some of the more visible ones happen to be white these days doesn't take away from the fact that atheists need advocacy. And someone, is like, I have trouble believing that atheists need advocated for because they're all entitled white people. Well, for every Sam Harris there's 5 white people who need their job at Hobby Lobby, and they need their job at Chick-fil-A, and they can't come out as atheists. And there's, for every, Richard Dawkins, there's women who have to go to church because her husband insists on it, and he would beat her if she came out as an atheist. Is the idea that a group of people don't need advocated for because they're a minority in one way, because they're entitled in every other way, is repugnant and wrong, and it's just stupid. It'd be like me saying gay people don't need advocated for because all the gay people I meet are white men with good jobs. Okay, it's just an ignorant statement. It'd be like me saying black people don't need advocated for because the only ones I see are rich athletes and rap stars and actors. What the fuck are you saying? It's ignorant and dangerous, and it's just setting us back. This is the last civil rights movement. Secular people have a right to be secular without getting fired, without getting persecuted, without getting shunned from their shitbird families. And it's embarrassing to me how any atheist, especially, could say that. Check your fucking self. The top atheists in the country are women. The head of FFRF is a woman. The founder of FFRF was her mother, a woman. For decades, not for years, for decades, the most famous atheist on the planet was a woman, Madalyn Murray O'Hair. A horrible person in a lot of ways, but not a white entitled man. A working class woman from Texas who didn't want her fucking kids praying in school at the hands of the teachers. And she was for decades the most famous atheist on the planet. So the idea that this is like a white man's issue is fucking stupid. Our friend Harrison Mumia is in Kenya, single-handedly fighting a true theocracy with his organization, Kenyan Atheists, or whatever it is. I can't remember the actual name of it. He's doing it by himself. They took away his Dawkins. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they should have done that. I just think that was a little bit petty, probably. Well, have you seen Dawkins? He's on my Deadpool. He's not gonna last much longer. He had a stroke. He's an old guy. He's got no friggin' meat left on his bones at all. And the guys down at FFRF are buddies with him. Dan Parker can talk to him. He's got his phone number. Um, and what he's done for atheism cannot be taken away. Um, I just think he needs to stay off of Twitter. Why do I feel the need to preach my atheism? I don't feel like I'm preaching. I don't really care if you convert to atheism. You can stay, Andrew Jones. Thanks for asking. Um, but yeah, I don't go down the street with a sign and stand across from the Trust Jesus guy. with a trust atheism sign. I don't give a fuck if you're not atheist. We're here to create community for atheists and for to help people off the fence. Kids who are coming out who can't because their parents, shun them or beat them or force them to go to church or, try to use guilt and fear to keep them in religion, and it breaks their minds. We are here to support our community. The idea that anybody actually preaches atheism, there's nothing to preach. There's no system. There's no dogma. There's no alternative belief. There's no leader. There's no demagogue. There's no mythical figure at the head of the cult. So yeah, if you think I'm preaching, then move along, man. Thanks. We are humans who seek to spend time with people with the same morality. Yeah, an actual morality that comes from our human empathy, not just like, oh, well, see, God gave you, you don't have any morals if you don't believe in God. Who the hell gives your system right and wrong? Not the asshole from the Bible who murdered 2 million people, drowned the whole world because he made them shitty. These people aren't following my rules. I'm going to send a flood and drown them all, and all the babies. Who cleaned up that mess when the flood went away, man? All the rotten, bloated corpses. Did God come down and clean that up, or did people have to deal with that? What makes you an atheist? Common sense. Thanks for being here. Patsy Stockley. Wow, thanks. Proving me one gunny. Proving me right, and he's laughing, rolling. He's rolling, laughing. Don't know what that means. The Balrog is here. I didn't see you, my friend. You talking to the Balrog? You say you don't have what? No, proving me right. What's he talking about? I don't know. Why is the U.S. so extreme? Europe is a whole different level, less religious. Yeah, and people like really kick back. Oh, Europe's very religious. That's where the Vatican is. Those people don't give a shit about religion. Yeah, in name they are. Yeah, Spain is very religious. Yeah, everybody identifies as a Christian. Yeah, and then they go back to doing what they do, drinking, and having fun, and partying, and listening to good music, and making art, and making love, and not giving a shit about proselytizing to their fucking neighbor about the good news of a dead Jewish zombie. Lose the silly hat and whistle. Can't take you serious. Why don't you eat a bag of fucking dirt, you fucking troll? Bye. Thanks for being here. People who don't get the brand, you know what I mean? They think I'm like just on here with a whistle to be a goof. It's like we have a fucking virtual railroad and it works, and I look fucking goddamn good, man. Andrew Jones, putz. The Russian Wolf 9. Love you, man. Thanks for being here. We're gonna go for maybe another 15, 20 minutes. It's already 12:11 here in the Central Zone. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. I actually got some play on the Instagram, trying to ramp up my efforts there. The TikTok took so much time that I wasn't paying any attention to my other SMs for a long time. And I didn't see Nikolai Science. If you haven't followed him, he's our good buddy, and he's made a good splash being new to TikTok. He had no idea he's part of the team. And I tried to get him to help by, helping answer comments from trolls and stuff, because he's really good with science. And he finally just started his own TikTok and actually started posting videos about the best of scientific arguments and things that apply to kind of what we're talking about, and that answer the objections of religious people. So follow Nikolai Science if you haven't yet. And I don't know what to start talking about that. Lost my train of thought, but he posts on Facebook for us. That's what I was talking about. He finds memes and stuff that are funny. And I post the podcast on Facebook. We do have a Facebook page with some thousands of followers, or over 1,000 at least. So if you're on Facebook still, if you're such an old farty, you're still using Facebook, then go ahead and follow us on Facebook. And we got a Twitter. I have a Twitter, El Robinero, that's got way more followers than the Atheist Underground. And you can follow me there if you're on the Twits. But at least Instagram, I've been posting stuff lately. Tommy Cat, no preaching on the train, buddy. Here. God loves you. Here. That's for you. Do you know logarithmic forms? No. If you're talking math, you may as well ask me, what's on the other side of the moon. I don't know anything about logarithmic forms. Could barely say the word. They are making fun of other religions. What are? As a child, I was punished for being smart. Thought the mentality changed. I am wrong. No, that's and Isaac Asimov. I saw a great quote from Isaac Asimov. He's like, when stupidity becomes patriotic, it's dangerous to be intelligent, and that's where we're at in America. Stupidity has become patriotism, right? To be a science denier, to be a religious, to be a Trump tard, to think that all of that is patriotic and that's what you have to be a patriot, that's stupidity. All right. The only true patriots left are those of us fighting for actual freedoms. And that means freedom from religion as well as freedom of religion, which we are all about. Honestly, people take me to task for, preaching atheism, and I stand up and routinely have for minority religions. We need all minority religions to be able to practice freely if we want to be able to not practice freely. That's freedom, right? And we have to stand up. Atheists need to stand up for our pagan friends, for our Wiccan friends, our Buddhist friends, and yes, our Muslim friends in the neighborhood are just getting downtrodden because they have to send their kid to a school full of fucking Christians, and then they finally get found out for being Muslim, and they take shit for it. And most of those people are afraid to kick back because they're just happy to be in a country where they're not getting dragged out in the street and beaten to death for it. At least they have fundamental rights to practice their religion, even if society is working against that when you send your kids to school. So, the idea that we're about spreading atheism is patently false. We want everybody to be able to follow their own conscience and their own heart and their own mind, however small that mind is. If you want to believe in the incredibly insane myth of Jesus and you're a thinking adult, or a sentient adult, excuse me, I'm thinking is probably the wrong word, but if you're a sentient adult and that gives you comfort at night, or that kept you from doing drugs, or that kept you from prostituting yourself and starving to death on the street, or whatever it is, that you made yourself better with the self-help technique that we call Christianity, that's your right. Stop fucking indoctrinating children. Stop putting it in our government. Stop putting it in our schools. That's all we want. Imagine you were going to war because of two different fairy tale books. Yeah, imagine it. You don't have to imagine. All you got to do is look at history. What's your fave god myth that you wish were real? I talk about this all the time. It's the Hawaiian myth of Pele, the goddess. We were missing the divine feminine in Western religions, right? They beat it back with the patriarchy. They took it out of the Bible. They took it out of, all the compendia that go with those religious writings, and that's why there's no Lilith. There's no every god that we all refer to is a male god. It's just a result of the patriarchy and the removal of the divine feminine. But that's not so in many native religions. And I've been to Hawaii several times, and the volcano goddess Pele, and people who watch me know I've talked about it a long time, could actually dispatch her vagina, remove it from her body, and send it on missions. She could go find a lover that way. She could go, send it on, like fly through the sky, and slap somebody in the face. I don't know, but what a fucking awesome myth. I wish that myth were true, right? You just pray to Pele tonight, send me your detachable vagina, please. I'm lonely. Wouldn't that be fucking great? But no, we can't have anything cool like that. We have to have the dead fucking Jewish guy hanging from a cross and then, coming back to life and scaring the shit out of people the next day. Fucking break. Ain't the Christian church who has to pay zero taxes? There is no the Christian church in America. I mean, there's a million of them, and that was a stroke of genius on their part. Being able to letting everybody interpret the religion in their own way was genius. That's how Christianity became the biggest religion in the world, besides like cultural assimilation and genocide and war and colonization and missionary work. Letting everybody interpret it their own way so they can make their own church wrapped around the kernel of the same thing, the dead bloody zombie on a fucking stick guy, but everything else can be different. And it's easy to see why Christianity became the biggest religion in the world, because there's not one single type, so it's like, if you're going to do that, it's easy to be the biggest, right? Just go ahead and do it your way, okay, we'll be Christians too. We're going to we're going to handle snakes at our church, and we're going to roll in the aisles and talk in tongues in our church, and we're going to start a church with no windows and then go door to door and talk about how you shouldn't be able to celebrate holidays. And then everybody's got their own fucking thing. And then you talk about the Mormonians, they lump those in when you talk about Christians. I think worldwide, if you're talking about Christianity being the biggest religion, they add all of those ones in, crazy ass cults. The friggin' Mormonians, made up a whole new friggin' thing, but at least got Jesus in the middle of it somewhere. So it's Christianity, and it's kind of cheating, but it's kind of genius too the way they did it, and the whole polytheism within monotheism, brilliant, you know. So but you talk about the taxes. That's what that. Sorry, that I went on a rant there. But you're talking about, isn't it the Christian church that doesn't? Yeah, none of them have to pay taxes because they're nonprofits. If you organize a church, it becomes a nonprofit, and that's why you don't have to pay taxes. It's not that it's because it's a church that you don't pay taxes, because it falls under the aegis of nonprofits, and no nonprofit has to pay taxes. But they do have to show their books and prove that they're not making a profit, and prove that they're not stumping for a political candidate. That's all nonprofits. You can't be any kind of a nonprofit, even if they're not religious at all. If you're a nonprofit, you can't politicize. You cannot come. And we did this as the mythology, the mythicists in Milwaukee went through this, where we couldn't. We had a podcast where we couldn't, you know, promote a political candidate or talk about anything like that, because that violates the rules of the nonprofit. Period. But churches get, the IRS is just like, they don't want to go there. Whereas, you got, Joel Osteen flying planes around and having a church that's, worth more than some small towns. But yeah, they don't have to pay taxes. I think the mega church ones should be taxed, but the small ones shouldn't be, the nonprofit. Yeah, that's exactly what I say. The limb for. Thank you, the limb for. That's exactly right. I mean, these poor churches in the country that are just trying to minister to the poor people on the corner and trying to make enough money to pay the pastor. They don't have any money. They can't even repair their roof. Not that I give a shit, but at least they're not out there making money. And those ones, if they're following the rules of the nonprofit, they shouldn't be taxed. But then again, a lot of those churches are still stumping for Trump, right? And then they do break the rules. And then you got to either come in and say, look, you need to stop this. Here's your warning. We see another fucking MAGA hat in your church, and you're going to start paying taxes, and that'll be the end of those churches. But the mega churches who do it, who are making $1 zillion, absolutely, 100%. And the Mormons, are right at the top, right? What do they have, $4 billion in the basement over there that they can just, like, somebody's like going and running their fingers through gold bars and nuggets, and they don't have to pay taxes on it. It's just a business. And the fucking Catholics, give me a break. Their businesses selling services. Oh, okay, that's one way to look at it. Says the Balrog. My point is it considered mythology, which all religions are? I don't think I saw the beginning of that. That is why NASA hired Indians. You mean Indians from India, right? We don't mean Native Americans. Why did NASA hire Indians? Science has proven that God is not necessary, but pretty much, yeah. And then the more science learns, the less God is necessary. It's it kind of follows, where at some point in the past, religion and science were very closely related. Religion was a way to explain science without the scientific method. We're just like, well, there's probably a chariot in the sky, and that big bright thing is its wheels spinning around, and there's a guy up in it, and he drives the chariot across the sky. Yeah, that's what the sun is. Yeah, man, how'd you think of that? That's really smart. And then, as the scientific method became a thing, religion started, diverging from science, and science started using actual methodology, and observation and recording of data and experimentation, et cetera, et cetera. And the more science evolves and the more science learns, the less it's related to religion. So now they're almost like on perpendicular paths, where religions are going this way, and the two lines will never meet again. But I do feel like religion at some point was proto-science, and then an early church actually, is responsible for a lot of scientific discovery, because the early church was where you could get educated. They cared about music and art and the humanities, and teaching, reading, and writing and stuff. So that at some point in history, they weren't so completely separate from each other, and you can't take away the contributions of the early church in a lot of educative discoveries throughout history. But it's at some point, that was a doomed effort for religion, because sooner or later science is going to end religion. We can see that. We can see the curve, the way it's going. India is almost mixed English. Did I miss something there? I mean, English is an Indo-European language. All of our languages came from, in Europe and Americas, came from Sanskrit. We know that. That's why they're part of that language family. If you're a linguist, you know these things. And we have a lot of words in English that come from Hindi, right? Pajamas is an Indian word. Khaki, right? The color khaki. That's an Indian word. What? 12:20. Yeah, I know. We're almost there. It's like 12:24 according to my clock. So 5 more minutes and we'll be kicking it out of here and doing something else. But hello, Betty Florence. DJ Trump. These Donald J should go by DJ Trump. That would be funnier, at least. DJ, can you imagine? Can you imagine Trump up there spinning records and scratching and being a DJ? Almost 300 years of English in India. Oh well, yeah. I mean, there's that. Yeah, I get it. When all Indians learn English because of the Raj and colonization. Can you spend 1 minute debunking Christianity? Yeah, it's easy to debunk because Christianity is based on the original sin, right? Jesus came to save us from original sin. The original sin came from Adam and Eve, right, in the Garden of Eden, and we all inherited that sin according to Christian dogmas, and none of us is sin-free because even the best of us have inherited that sinful nature, and it's because of what happened in the Garden of Eden that Jesus needed to come and give us a way to be forgiven for that original sinful nature. Well, we already know that the Garden of Eden didn't happen, right? We already know that that's a metaphor, and that the creative process took a little bit more than 6 days, just a few more, maybe 10, 12 days, right, for the Earth to. Well, no, we know that the Earth is not 6,000 years old, and we know what the geological age of the Earth is, and we know that humankind did not evolve or descend from 2 original people. So if Genesis is not true, then Jesus had nothing to save us from. So bang, right there, Christianity is debunked. That's as fast as I can do it. And it's so obvious that it's no wonder that Christians try to hang on to biblical literalism, because they understand, even as stupid as they are, evangelicals, they understand that if that part is not true, then the end can't be true. There's no reason for Jesus to die for us if there was no original sin. Now, the people who are Christians who don't believe that Genesis was real, and mainline Protestants, and people who understand that Jesus, that the Garden of Eden was a metaphor and that Adam and Eve didn't exist, those people need to modify the religion in their minds. They're just trying to live by the teachings of Jesus, who they see as a role model for morality, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's not Christian dogma. It really isn't. It's a new version where people are like, I want to identify as Christian. I want to believe that Jesus was, a teacher of the right way. But they let go of the actual mythological arc of him dying to save us from original sin. So, yeah, and that's the other thing. Jesus didn't die for our sins, right? I thank you, Winston, for pointing that out. I always love that. Winston Wolf 333. He just had a bad weekend. He didn't. If he actually paid for our sins, he'd still be in hell. He'd be in hell for eternity, burning up like a burned up crispy Jesus. And the rest of us would be in heaven going, thanks, man. Thanks for that. You really took one for us, man. I'm sorry that it burns. I could piss on you from here probably, and but there's not much else we can do. So thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for being in hell for eternity for us. But no, he spent a weekend in hell, supposedly. He probably had a good room too, right? He probably got like the white collar criminals who go to prison and they get like a suite with a mini fridge full of fucking beer, right? That's probably what he had in hell. He's like, Jesus is here for the weekend, and please, anyone shivs Jesus, I'm gonna fuck him up. He's only here for the weekend. You got to send him back to heaven. So don't fucking fuck with Jesus while he's here. This is the devil, right? He's like, you know what? I know you got to do your weekend. It's going to be hot, but at least you got a nice presidential suite, and you'll be back with the old man on Sunday. So, yeah. Where's your choo-choo? Acid tongue atheist. Sorry, man. Didn't see you come on. I did. I know I did. I just saw you a minute ago. Yeah, beer and conjugal visits. Yeah. Jesus was allowed to have James, the apostle he loved, come and because we all know Jesus was gay. The Mystic Mark. That's a good comment, bud. What's up, Mystic Mark? Be real. 777. From this moment on, it is written. Patsy Stockley says, from this moment on, it is written. People say Jesus nuts still hanging on the wood. Jesus nuts are still hanging on the wood, are they? They put a nail through his scrotum, so they like when they took him down, he was like ripped off, and his nuts are still hanging on the cross. That's disgusting. What's that about? You can debunk everything with the decay of uranium. Yeah, I suppose so. Thanks, Benny. You're probably right. Half Dead King, Summerlin. Christianity is running with the goalpost. Yeah, of course they are. I mean, and religion has to. If it's going to survive, it has to run with the goalpost. You know, they've got to keep changing. The goal, because we get to the point where we know that where the goalpost was isn't anything. It's not real. I don't believe Jesus was gay, but if he was, there isn't anything wrong with it. Yes, not that there's anything wrong with that. You know, I don't believe Jesus existed, really, but it's easy to read the New Testament and wonder like why they left out any mention of a girlfriend or a wife. You guys, Boomer, thanks for being on YouTube. You guys just look like they had their own conversation. They're going pretty good. That's the funnest thing about this. Actually, not the funnest thing, but one of the cool things is starting these things and then watching people talk to each other and start these, conversations that just go. Just to be clear, you're not Christian. That's cool. Not that there's anything wrong with that. You can be Christian. You can be a gay Christian if you can stand yourself for doing it. I cringed about the U.S. when your presidents swore on the Bible. Yeah, it's just like, what? Come on. I've always said that. Thanks, Kevin. There is more evidence of Santa because at least you wake up and there's presents under your tree. That's better evidence for Santa than there ever was for Seinfeld. Thanks for noticing. I make your day better. Thanks. Always moving. That's really sweet. I'm glad I can do something for anybody because otherwise, my life would feel so wasted. I'd feel like a damn Christian with nothing to do but ignore the earth and worship a made-up deity in the hopes of going to a place that we don't even know it exists. Somebody else asked me why Christians are, so they don't take care of the planet. We know they don't think they're going to need it. It's a death cult. It's an afterlife cult. They really believe, the hardcore evangelicals really believe that this place is just temporary, just given to us, for a place to, like, I don't know, take a piss for a while until we go to the next life. So they don't care about littering, and they don't care about climate change, and they don't care about the oceans rising. They don't care about plastic piling up. If there is a heaven, it's here. We've already been privy to living on. We've already been given heaven, and we're just doing our best to fuck it up, especially evangelicals. Your answers are funnier than a comedy show. That's very kind of you, Benny. I try. I hate when people thank God when firemen say, "Yeah, and a lot of it is just a thing. It's an expression. It just comes out. Oh, thank God. But I deal with it all the time. Did you fix that garden today? Yeah, I fixed it up. And did you fix my stairs where the brick was loose? Yeah, I fixed it up. Thank God. Excuse me, bitch. You can thank God all you want. Just pay me. Promise of an afterlife is a way to get your real life exploited. Yeah, of course. It's amazing we exist. It is amazing we exist. That's for sure. Some of us more than others. Who's 90? Oh, you're talking to Balrog. Who are you talking about? Trying to fix her brain? I missed it. Yeah, I don't know. I was wondering that too. Is Patsy Stockley a Christian? Was that a kind of a troll comment? I'm not sure. It wasn't terribly offensive. Jesus' white dress has no blood marks. You think Jesus should have had a red robe, right? Like the soldiers, like the red coats, so you don't like freak people out seeing that blood. But no. He had to wear white. Bad day to wear white. Your wit never ceases to amaze. Agree with your comedy. Thanks, Keisha. I love you so much. Thanks for being here. It's time to blast off. It's already 12:33. Thank you so much for joining. Everybody, love you so much. As you know, I would climb through the camera and make love to each one of you in a row if I could. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook. Look for new merch coming from my gal Heather Mack, who's probably taking a nap because she drank too much coffee and buzzed out. But we will see you Wednesday before, if I don't see you before, on the vids and the comments. Again, thank you so much for joining. Love you all. I'm going to end the stream on YouTube. Thank you all the two of you who are on YouTube, and thank you all